I am not one of those people who like to talk about things that are not facts. I don't like talking about conspiracy theories. So if you're looking for guesswork and things to make your imagination go wild regarding this particular issue, you will be disappointed. Welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katlego. If you find our content to be to your liking, please subscribe, like, and share the video with other citizens. I laugh as I watch many people come up with ideas of what is happening here. Zuma, the chess players, at it again, they say. They act as if they know what is going on and claim that this is some deep strategy coming from the bowls of the EFF and the MK party. South Africans, right? People are gullible. People are eager to hear the news that supports their own views. They look up to Jacob Zuma, Julius Malema, and Floyd Shivambu as Baba this, Commandant that, CIC this, revolutionary that. The truth of the matter is that the politics of South Africa are not that complicated. They're simply politics of the stomach. All you have to do is wait long enough and the story will start to unravel. But that is not what people want, right? They want answers and they want them now. The truth is, no one has the answers except the people in the inner circle, people in the room, people doing the resigning and changing of political parties. It may be nice to rush to make a video answering the questions that you have, but the truth is I would be lying to you, just adding my voice to the speculation soup spilling all over the nation. I prefer covering what we know and what has been exposed. I'm more interested in the signs that show that these people, these politicians that claim to be here for you, are in actual fact here for themselves, and bit by bit they are showing you. And my hope is that your eyes are open enough to see it. We have people in our political space who will say they fight for you, but they will do stupid things that make you wonder, are these people really here for me, or are they here for their own selfish agendas? The EFF, along with Floyd Shivambu, demanded that Jacob Zuma must pay back the money that he used to build Nkandla. That was good. I will cover more about that in a minute. But if a doctor tells me that drugs are bad for my health, why should I trust him if he goes and starts working for the drug manufacturers? He's becoming a drug manufacturer himself, Mus. Why is that doctor even trusted? This is Floyd bragging about the EFF achievements not so long ago. Listen to this.
But at least in 2017, one thing which was beginning to be a shift was that we put a motion to say, let us have secret ballot against former president, the criminal Jacob Zuma. And for the first time as the EFF were able to persuade members of the ANC to vote against their own president, their sitting president. So we are proud as the EFF that in this 5th Democratic Parliament, we're able to crack the ruling party to vote separately in terms of what happened in a secret ballot, which we insisted should happen.
Okay. So he, along with the EFF, saw Jacob Zuma as a criminal. They made sure to remove him from parliament. It is their pressure, the EFF pressure at the behest of Julius and Floyd, that contributed to the removal of a criminal, Jacob Zuma. Floyd was proud of that achievement. Remember, Jacob Zuma has still not been convicted for his hand in the state capture activities, right? Remember that Floyd Shivambu called Jacob Zuma a criminal for his actions, right? Meaning he saw Zuma as a cancer and a disgrace that had to be named as such. But here he is, not even 10 years later, joining Jacob Zuma. Today, Floyd is going to join that criminal. He has now abandoned his own party that got the criminal out of parliament. He's abandoning it in order to go join the same criminal that he got out of parliament. He's now calling Jacob Zuma and his ilk progressive. And he has the audacity to call his decision revolutionary.
My sincere plea is that in its reflection of the decision that I have taken, The organization should also avoid mischaracterization of an otherwise revolutionary and disciplined decision to not renew membership of the EFF, and the request that I must be released from all areas that I'm deployed on behalf of the EFF. I've decided not to renew the membership of the EFF because I will join and participate in Umkhonto Wesizwe Party. It's a decision that I have taken, and I think and believe that it will add meaningful value to the progressive and revolutionary politics that must be pursued by all the progressive forces in South Africa.
I want you to pay attention to what Floyd Shivambu knows is a sign that he, Julius, as well as Zuma are criminals. They are corrupt and they should all end up in jail. Floyd Shivambu is a big beneficiary of the money that came from VBS. It is money that either belonged to taxpayers or even the poor citizens who were predominantly black in the areas served by VBS Bank. When people talk about the issue of whether the EFF benefited from the proceeds of corruption or not, people love to mention how the EFF did not know that the monies received were proceeds of crimes. But Floyd himself knows very well that knowing where the money came from is not an excuse. He knows, and he is right. Listen to him here.
Treasury has said the president must pay 7.3 million rands. The Constitutional Court is going to sign off on this. And is this now the end of the matter for you as EFF?
Now, look, I think the greatest achievement which we should restate as the EFF is that ultimately the money which we said is going to be paid is going to be paid by Jacob Zuma, because when we arrived in Parliament in 2014, we said he is going to pay back the money as part of the commitments that were made prior to elections. So already the EFF has delivered on an election promise.
Basically, Floyd was happy that Jacob Zuma was required to pay back the money that was used to build up Nkandla. He was happy about that, but Floyd was not happy enough because the punishment was not enough. Listen to him here.
The Corruption Act in South Africa says that if you are a recipient of illegally acquired money and processes, you are guilty of corruption. We're going to explore the criminal prosecutions of Jacob Zuma for being an illegal recipient of money which he was not supposed to benefit in Nkandla, because we have got an obligation as citizens to make sure that the money that we receive, we know where it comes from. All the benefits that we receive, we must know where it comes from. It must not be criminally acquired. So the Corruption Act places the blame on the recipient and those who give as well. So there must be an exploration of the criminal prosecution of Jacob Zuma for being a beneficiary of benefits through a 250 million house in Nkandla.
When it was Jacob Zuma who stole money using Nkandla, Floyd Shivambu believed that Zuma should go to jail for receiving millions in corruption money in the form of upgrades to his house. And I agree with him there. Zuma should have gone to jail for that. But what I find interesting is that when the time came for Floyd Shivambu to receive money from VBS, Floyd did not ask if the money was clean or not. In fact, seeing how Floyd understands the law so much, it also means that Floyd himself, along with Julius, should have met the full might of the law. They received money which was obtained through corruption, right? According to Floyd, we as citizens have an obligation to make sure we know where the money we receive comes from. That is why Jacob Zuma was supposed to go to jail all those years ago when it came to the case of Nkandla. Suddenly, when it was time for him to receive corruption money, he forgot about this obligation, it seems. This is interesting stuff. And today, Floyd has gone to join the person he blamed for not meeting his obligation, the same Jacob Zuma. Seems to me like Jacob Zuma is a poisonous fruit that takes down everyone who takes a bite. Can you believe the twists and turns that the lives of these EFF and ANC snakes of corruption have lived through? So Jacob Zuma benefits from corruption through Nkandla. EFF said he must pay.
Why are we getting thrown out?
That money, Nkandla money must be paid. You can't hide behind presidency.
Honorable members, I'm calling the security. I'm suspending the House for a few minutes for these
On a point of order, Chair. 1 hour money. We want
the
money.
House is suspended
Pay back
for
our
3
money.
minutes. Go.
1 hour money.
Go.
1 hour money. One hour money. Date and time.
You won't remove us. We're not going anywhere.
Pay back the money. Pay back the money. Pay back.
Floyd says Jacob Zuma should be jailed because he was a recipient of stolen money. Jacob Zuma then pays the money back as demanded by the laws. Where does he get the money from? Jacob Zuma got the money from VBS. And when the EFF heard about this, they complained about the VBS loan to Zuma, and they were right to complain. But guess what? They were then enticed by VBS themselves. So instead of making sure they keep fighting Zuma in order to protect the poor people, they then got millions from VBS themselves. The money they received was stolen money. It was corruption money that also involved municipalities and the Public Investment Corporation. So according to Floyd's own words, he, his brother Brian Shivambu, along with Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma, should go and share a jail cell. They all need to go to jail. But now that the EFF was getting asked about their hand in the VBS looting, they want to act as if they are innocent from the looting. Dalimpofu is another one. He clearly needs a lesson from Floyd Shivambu in terms of how the law works. Why should we believe anything he has to say anyway? He's defending the worst people South Africa has to offer. Over and over again, embarrassing himself in the most demeaning ways I've ever seen a man do. The skomota of the legal profession. Listen to this buffoon.
Has the EFF received money from VBS or through any other channel that proceeds from VBS?
No, anyone who has any information to that effect must come to us. We'll obviously investigate whatever allegations are made, but we can't respond to allegations made in the air. Unfortunately, I cannot comment too much about the process, the report, because I actually participated there. I represented an unrelated client. So maybe, unlike other citizens, I know about the weaknesses of that process, which I wouldn't like to share now.
Did you hear that? Unlike other citizens, I know more. You see, I was in the rooms. So he was asked about the EFF and its leaders receiving money. And what did he say?
There's reports this morning from the Daily Maverick suggesting that Floyd Shivambu himself, the Deputy President, received money from his brother from those proceeds from VBS.
So I must respond to the Daily Maverick now. No, we don't respond to the Daily Maverick. The Daily Maverick or you or anyone else who has any information, our offices are in Braamfontein in De Korte Street. You can bring that information. Then
so
we'll look into it.
Can you categorically say that the EFF did not receive money from VBS at all?
Yes, I can say that because I have no information to the contrary. The sources of money for the EFF are its membership base, as well as the stipend that we receive from the IEC and Parliament. And any other instant, there are certain donations that we receive. Those will be declared. For example, during the election time, we've been approached by certain companies that are donating to all political parties, and we are considering that. Previously, we didn't take that kind of money. So that's the money that I can account for. That's the money that I know. There's no way that the EFF received money from VBS. That I can tell you categorically.
So imagine that. He said that the EFF did not receive any VBS money. Why? Because he had no information that proved that the EFF received money. What kind of a fool would say something so stupid? Imagine, I have no information to the contrary, therefore the EFF did not receive the money. A grown man, a whole lawyer, always putting his reputation on the line, defending nonsense. Categorically, the EFF did not receive money, and then a few years later, the same fool comes and says this.
Of having to say the same thing about this. Every time somebody speaks, it's blown up as if something new has come up. Now, the latest, of course, is this Matotsi affidavit. Now, the most important thing about that is that actually nothing new comes out of that affidavit, nothing at all. Because Matotsi says, remember in the previous, all the previous reports, Mutao and the Daily Maverick and all that, it was said that these were monies that were paid to the persons that you've mentioned. Matotsi now says, no, this was a donation to the EFF, not to the persons that you are mentioning. And he says that he had of course he does say that he had a meeting with them, but he specifically says that it was a donation to the EFF. Yeah.
Just for the record.
Right.
There is no denial this time that the EFF party did receive funds from VBS.
No, there's never been a denial of that. That's why I'm saying there's nothing new. There's always been there are two. Okay, I was saying there are three things. The third thing is the loan.
You categorically say that the EFF did not receive money from VBS at all?
Yes, I can say that because I have no information to the contrary. The sources of money for the EFF are its membership base, as well as the stipend that we receive from the IEC and Parliament. And any other instant, there are certain donations that we receive. Those will be declared. For example, during the election time, we've been approached by certain companies that are donating to all political parties, and we are considering that. Previously, we didn't take that kind of money. So that's the money that I can account for. That's the money that I know. There's no way that the EFF received money from VBS. That I can tell you categorically.
Imagine an adult embarrassing himself on television for the entire nation to see. These men and women engage in deception for their stomachs, not politics for the sake of our people. I'll deal with the VBS matter in later videos as we go deeper into the lies, but what I wanted to show you here is that these people are liars, they are hypocrites, and we cannot rely on these kinds of people for anything. Today they hate each other and say we should fight against this evil person, and then all of a sudden they start speaking up to embrace that same corrupt person. You as a poor voter left wondering, what the hell is going on? Should I go to the left or the right? Should I go to EFF or MK? I like Floyd, so I'll go with Floyd. But I also like Julius, but what should I do? Now you're on Twitter speaking out for a person whose agenda you do not know. You defend a person whose deeds you cannot attest for. This person is pushing his own agenda, but you have chosen him to be the mountain that you die on. Why? Don't support these men and women in politics on everything. They will mislead you. Don't even fall for the idea that you can trust me all the way. I am a human being, and there are things that I will say that might be wrong or even evil simply because I've sold out. How do you know? You're not with me when I sell out, so how do you know? Just look at the ideas and look at the policies only. Learn to be a free thinker. These people will think for you if you fail to think for yourself. And their past has shown that they rarely ever think in a way that benefits you. Wake up, South Africa. Wake up. And then you have so-called political analysts putting their own little spice into things that they don't know about, just like you and me. Why can't people just wait to hear what the story is? But no, it's trending now. Say something now. We need the views now. The story is fresh now and people will watch. Just come and say something clever. Just imagine. Chasing views, adding no value except for speculation. They have the confidence to do this because history has told them that South Africans just eat it up. Let's improve, dear citizens. Let's demand more from the news outlets we consume our news from. Look at Floyd Shivambu talking about how Jacob Zuma will never have peace until he's held accountable.
Jacob Zuma will never find peace in the presence of the EFF that respects the Constitution. As long as the Constitution is what we have now, Jacob Zuma, unless he's held accountable to the fullest, he will never address this parliament. There will never be a time where he will find peace in this particular parliament. At all times, he will know that there are serious dynamics and opposition that will come from the EFF, which has been proven times and again that is the only defender of the Constitution.
Imagine that. Floyd Shivambu, the man who defends the Constitution. Zuma was a problem, right? Floyd and the EFF were defenders of the Constitution, right? Now the same defender of the Constitution is joining a party that wants to do away with the Constitution. And here is the worst part. Jacob Zuma remains the same. He still has not paid for his sins. All his crimes have not been answered for, but Floyd has abandoned his mission to make Zuma answer. In fact, under the MK party, Zuma will be pardoned for all his crimes and be placed back into being president. The Constitution will be done away with.
The fact of the matter is we could be in a position very soon where we will make the determination who becomes president, and whoever becomes president will be told that you're going to give President Zuma political pardon, presidential pardon, and when he gives the presidential pardon, we'll bring President Zuma back in his National Assembly, put him back as president. Simple as that. Before we even change the Constitution.
The Constitution has to change. This is what New Kid on the Block Umkhonto Sizwe party wants to see. MK says it's not a true reflection of the people. Spokesperson Ntlamulo Ndlela said the reason they are facing tough economic times as a country is because the Constitution overlooks traditional leaders and the important role that they play.
This current Constitution is not reflective of the people. This current Constitution is not reflective of the traditional leaders who are the actual owners of the land.
Yeah.
This current constitution is not reflective of the traditional leaders and civil society.
So it seems like Floyd has left one looting dictator at the EFF to join a bigger looting dictator at the MK.
The reason why Africa is referred to as a dark continent is because we have got post-colonial disasters, imposters, thugs, criminals who by coincidence, accident, or by design find themselves occupying the highest political office in their land. These include Obiang Basako of Equatorial Guinea, Paul Biya of Cameroon, Blaise Compaoré of Burkina Faso, General Sani Abacha of Nigeria, Jose Eduardo dos Santos of Angola, Idi Amin Dada of Uganda, Mobutu Sese Seko of a country named Zaire, and unfortunately, Mr. Jacob Zuma of a country is going to soon name Guptaland. And what are the common features of these people, of these traits that destroy the post-colonial state? They seek to enrich their families. They seek to undermine the rule of law. They have no regard of the Constitution. They prosecute and persecute political opponents, including of the political parties that they come from. They fight in that particular format. And when everything else has failed, they kill, they assassinate their opponents. That is what we are faced with here in South Africa, of a political post-colonial disaster called Mr. Jacob Zuma. That is why we stand as the EFF to say that every opportunity that arises to get rid of such post-colonial disasters, we must act in unison.
I mean, guys, There are no strategic chess moves being played here. These are gravy-trained politics. Our people are so gullible, and because for years they have had to put their fate in the hands of these lying, corrupt men, they console themselves by saying, no, we know them. They're strategizing. They are wise. Don't worry. Whether Floyd Shivambu joins MK or ANC, it does not matter. What they stand for is the same. They all want money. They are money-loving scoundrels who act as though they're in politics for the poor, when it is all a means to get rich, to plunder the state of South Africa, and they will join the devil's party to do it if they have to. So that is my take on the Floyd exit. He's simply a VBS looting, side-shifting, flip-flopping hypocrite, wolf in dirty sheep's clothing. Learn to read the signs, guys, and don't be quick to eat up the lies you have fed. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share the video. I am Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.